Very good afternoon and thanks for tuning into the midday news on Rajya Sabha television. All the developing news stories at the top of 1 p.m. coming up in the next 30 minutes. Let us start with the headlines. Enforcement Directorate attaches assets worth 255 crore rupees of Nirav Modi in Hong Kong in the PNB fraud case. Total assets of absconding businessmen attached so far at 4,744 crore rupees. Supreme Court to consider urgent hearing of PIL seeking court-monitored SIT probe into corruption allegations against CBI officials, including Special Director Rakesh Asthana. Centre had sent Asthana and CBI Director Alok Verma on leave on Wednesday. Maharashtra government moves the Supreme Court in the Bhima-Koregaon violence case, challenges Bombay High Court order, setting aside lower court order, giving time to state police to conclude probe. Big relief to Palaniswamy government in Tamil Nadu. Madras High Court upholds the disqualification of 18 rebel AIADMK MLAs, disqualified MLAs loyal to TTV Dinakaran. And Indian men's hockey team defeats South Korea in the fifth and final round-robin match at the Asian Champions Trophy to stay unbeaten in the tournament so far. Shuttlers Saina Nehwal, Kidambi Srikanth and B. Sai Praneeth advanced to the second round of French Open Badminton. The biggest developing story at this hour, the Enforcement Directorate has attached valuables and jewellery worth 255 crore rupees in Hong Kong of diamond jeweller Nirav Modi in connection with the multi-crore rupees PNB fraud case. The agency said that it has issued a provisional order under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act for attachment of these assets. The said valuables were exported through 26 shipments by Dubai-based companies to the Hong Kong-based companies controlled by Nirav Modi and have been lying in a logistics company vault. A court-issued order will soon be sent to Hong Kong to formalize the PMLA attachment order. With this latest order, the total attachment in this case against the absconding millionaire is about 4,744 crore rupees. Nirav Modi has been absconding since the alleged bank loan fraud came to light early this year, and an Interpol arrest warrant has been notified against him. India is working to get him extradited from the United Kingdom, where he was last reported to have been based. And the Income Tax Department launched multiple raids at over 100 locations in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh as a part of its tax evasion probe against mining and mineral export companies. The searches are being conducted at the premises of at least 4 such business groups in Chennai, Coimbatore, and other areas in Tamil Nadu and Visakhapatnam and in Andhra Pradesh. Officials said the companies that are being searched are involved in mining, processing and export of beach sand minerals illegally. The profits earned are invested into business of the groups like spinning mills, sugar mills, hotels, engineering colleges and some blue metal businesses. Some overseas transactions of these companies made in alleged violation of tax laws is also under the scanner. And on to the other top story, the Supreme Court has said that it would consider according urgent hearing to a PIL seeking court-monitored SIT probe into the allegations of corruption against various CBI officials, including Rakesh Asthana. Asthana was divested of his responsibilities as the agency's special director and sent on leave on Wednesday. A bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi considered the submission of lawyer Prashant Bhushan that there were wider issues of corruption affecting the probe agency and the PIL needed to be heard urgently. The bench, which would also comprise Justices S.K. Kaul and K.M. Joseph, asked Prashant Bhushan to provide details and said that it would consider granting urgent hearing on the petition. The Apex Court, remember, on Wednesday had agreed to hear on 26th of October a separate plea filed by the CBI chief alleging the centre's decision to divest him of powers and send him on leave. And the Maharashtra government has moved the Supreme Court challenging the Bombay High Court order by which extension of time granted to state police to conclude the probe in the Bhima Koregaon violence case was set aside. The Bombay High Court on Wednesday had quashed the lower court's decision by which the Maharashtra police was granted more time to conclude the investigation and filed a charge sheet. Now, several rights activists have been made accused in the violence case. A bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi considered the submissions of lawyer appearing for the Maharashtra government that the appeal needed to be heard on an urgent basis. The lawyer said that if the High Court order is not stayed, then accused in the violence case would become entitled for grant of statutory bail or want of non-filing of charge sheet within the stipulated period. The appeal will be heard on 26th of October. And earlier, the Apex Court had refused to interfere with the arrest of 5 rights activists by the Maharashtra police in connection with the Bhima Koregaon violence case and had declined to appoint a SIT for the probe into the arrest. And in a huge relief to the Palaniswamy government in Tamil Nadu, the Madras High Court today upheld the 14th of June order of the then Chief Justice disqualifying 18 rebel AIADMK MLAs. The justice heard the pleas of the rival parties after a bench of then Chief Justice Indira Banerjee gave a split verdict on 14th of June. The 18 disqualified MLAs are loyal to the sidelined AIADMK leader TTV Dinakaran, who has now formed his own party. The 18 AIADMK MLAs were disqualified on 18th of September last year under the anti-defection law after they met their governor and expressed a lack of confidence in Chief Minister Palaniswamy. On to some other news, the second edition of India Mobile Congress commenced today in New Delhi with a major focus on the upcoming 5G technologies in India. The 3-day conference will end on 27th of October and the theme this year is New Digital Horizons, Connect, Create, Innovate, aimed to build upon forging industry relationships between key partners and to showcase leading-edge technology. Cabinet Ministers Ravi Shankar Prasad, Suresh Prabhu, Manoj Sinha and Hardeep Singh Puri attended the inaugural session and addressing the event, IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad explained that India needs to have digital content in various Indian languages to move ahead as a digital economy.
Asset of India's transformation is that today an ordinary Indian, a poor Indian, is having a smartphone in his hand and getting empowered with the power of technology. We are seeking to make 60 million Indian digitally literate, all with a smartphone in his hand. PM was very keen to make India a great center of digital payment. Today, digital payment is rising in India in a phenomenal manner.
Telecom industry leaders Sunil Bharti Mittal of Bharti Airtel, Kumar Mangalam Birla of Vodafone Idea and Mukesh Ambani of Reliance Industries Limited also addressed the inaugural session. After debuting successfully in 2017, this year's event is expected to attract over 1 lakh participants and 1,300 exhibitors. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called on IT professionals to work towards spreading awareness about the importance of environment protection and promoting traditional ways of water conservation. Talking at a town hall with the IT professionals and tech enthusiasts in Delhi on Wednesday, he said that rampant exploitation of natural resources is not an Indian tradition.
जिस प्रकार से ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, एनवायरनमेंट के इश्यूज़, इन सब से हम परेशानी भुगत रहे हैं और परेशानी दिनों दिन नज़र आ रही हैं कि कैसी जा सकती हैं और इसलिए नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज बचाना ये हमारा दायित्व है और ये भारत जैसे देश में आज जो हम कर रहे हैं वो हमारी परंपरा नहीं है, वो हमारी संस्कृति भी नहीं है, ये हमारे अंदर आई हुई विकृति है जो हमने कहीं से बोरो की है। यूज एंड थ्रो, मेरे सुख के लिए मुझे जितना पानी चाहिए मैं उपयोग करूंगा, औरों को मिले या न मिले। ये एक बहुत बड़ा दुखद परिस्थिति है।
And during the interaction, the Prime Minister said that people are paying taxes now because they have faith that the government is using their money properly. The Prime Minister also pitched for a tax plus one system where citizens do a little more towards society besides honestly paying their taxes. He said the future lies in technology that should be used to develop solutions for issues facing the world's fastest growing economy. Prime Minister also said that the government may have big schemes and budgets, but the success of any initiatives lies in public involvement. And while batting for inclusive growth, he said that it is important to create equal opportunities for everyone. Referring to the recent spike in international oil prices, the Prime Minister said that electric vehicles is an answer to the situation. For this, he urged domestic entrepreneurs to develop a low-cost, affordable battery and charging system to quickly charge cars run on electricity.
भारत की वर्तमान में 25 से 40 के बीच की जो पीढ़ी है, उसमें ये सहज भाव पैदा हो रहा है, दिखता है। लेकिन इसमें अगर सामूहिकता जुड़ती है, तो वो एक ताकत के रूप में उभर करके आता है। उसको कहीं न कहीं एक मिशन के साथ जोड़ दे। स्ट्रक्चरल व्यवस्था की जरूरत नहीं है, एक मिशन के साथ जोड़ दे, एक प्लेटफॉर्म के हो, वो लचीला हो, हर कोई अपनी मर्जी से करता हो, लेकिन जो करता हो वो कहीं न कहीं जमा होता जाए, परिणाम जमा होता जाए तो परिवर्तन भी नजर आना शुरू हो जाता है। और ये बात निश्चित है, भारत की तकदीर तकनीक में है।
The Prime Minister also launched the Self for Society initiative. The platform will enable various organizations to create their own initiatives under the identified national causes to serve the society better. The app aims to make corporate social responsibility more collaborative and meaningful.
हमारी ये जो बिखरी हुई सेवा शक्ति है, और मैं देख रहा हूं कि इन दिनों सोशल स्टार्टअप का एक युग शुरू हुआ है। ये बृहद परिवार से भी बृहद परिवार, मेरा पूरा समाज, मेरा पूरा देश, ये अपने आप में एक ताकत बन जाता है। इसी भाव को लेकर के आज सर्विस का भाव लेकर के आईटी टू सोसाइटी की यात्रा है ये। तो एक तरफ आईटी टू सोसाइटी है, तो आईआईटी टू सोसाइटी भी है।
And the government has constituted a group of ministers to strengthen the legal and institutional framework to deal with and to prevent sexual harassment at workplace. The GOM will be headed by Home Minister Rajnath Singh and will have Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and Women and Child Development Minister Maneka Gandhi as other members. It will examine existing legal and institutional frameworks to deal with the matters of sexual harassment at workplace within 3 months. The GOM will also recommend action required for effective implementation of the existing provisions. The GOM has been set up in the wake of the Me Too movement, where several women have publicly named people who had allegedly harassed them at their workplace.
में हम लोग ये देखेंगे कि नेशनल कमीशन ऑफ वुमेन को कैसे ताकतवर करें, हम कौन से इंस्टीट्यूशनल चेंजेस लाएंगे पक्सों में। हमने अभी तक तो वो बना दिया है नियम कि देयर इज़ नो टाइम लिमिट शिकायतों की, फिर भी इन बहुत सारे चेंजेस हम कोशिश करेंगे इसके बारे में सोचना। और मैं आभारी होंगी अगर किसी के पास सजेशन है तो वो भी हमें भेज दें तो हम उसको सोच लेंगे।
And in midday news, we'll slip into a very short break. News and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned. All the election-related news now. The scrutiny of nominations ended on Wednesday for the first phase of elections in Chhattisgarh to be held on 12th of November. In the last assembly elections in 2013, nominations of total 172 candidates were found valid in these constituencies. The last day for the withdrawal of nominations is 26th of October for this phase. Meanwhile, the Congress party has announced the names of all of its candidates for the 28th of November assembly polls in the state of Mizoram. Chief Minister Lal Thanhawla will contest from 2 seats, both reserved for the scheduled tribe category. The Central Election Committee of the Congress selected the candidates. The 40-member Mizoram Assembly will go to polls on 28th of November and the results will be announced on 11th of December. And Israel Aerospace Industries has announced that it has signed a $777 million contract with India for the supply of long-range surface-to-air missile defense systems to the Indian Navy. The IAI will supply LR-SAM air and missile defense systems, the marine version of the anti-missile defense system Barak 8 and 7 for the 7 ships of the Indian Navy. The LR-SAM system is an operational air and missile defense system used by Israel's Navy as well as by India's Navy, air and land forces. The system provides a broad aerial and point defense against a wide range of threats to the marine air arena from air, sea or land. The new contract announced by IAI has been extended with the Indian state-owned company Bharat Electronics Limited, which serves as the main contractor in the project. News on the Sabrimala Rao and the Travancore Devaswom Board that administers the Lord Ayappa temple in the Hind Shrine has decided against filing a review petition against the Supreme Court order. The apex court, had lifted the ban on the entry of women of menstruating age into the temple. The board said that the review petition has no relevance now. Meanwhile, 4 young women approached the Kerala High Court seeking a direction to the state government to provide them with security so that they could offer prayers at the temple. The court has sought the state government's response. The TDB's decision not to file a review petition came a day after the Supreme Court listed for hearing 19 such pleas for hearing on 13th of November. The Travancore Devaswom Board also said that it won't file a report in the Supreme Court on the situation that prevailed at the shrine and the surrounding areas in the aftermath of the Supreme Court's order. All the international news now. First up, news from the United States, where authorities say that pipe bombs have been sent to prominent critics of Donald Trump, spreading terror in America less than 2 weeks before the midterm elections. Packages containing suspected explosives were sent to the homes of former President Barack Obama and the former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, but intercepted by the U.S. Secret Service. 2 more suspect packages addressed a Democratic Congresswoman of California and a former Attorney General, and they were discovered before reaching their targets. And CNN evacuated its studios in New York after what the police called was a live explosive device that was found in its mailroom. The package was addressed to John Brennan, the former CIA director. Suspected bombs were sent to locations in New York, the Washington, D.C. area, as well as Florida. Thankfully, none of the packages exploded. The FBI has launched a hunt for their sender. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has called on people to be more civil in politics after the developments. Speaking at a rally in Wisconsin, the president vowed to catch the perpetrator and called on the media also to stop endless hostility.
The safety of the American people is my highest and absolute priority. I have just concluded a briefing with the FBI, Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, and the U.S. Secret Service. As we speak, the packages are being inspected by top explosive experts, and a major federal investigation is now underway. The full weight of our government is being deployed to conduct this investigation and bring those responsible for these despicable acts to justice.
And Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on Wednesday described the killing of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi as a heinous crime in his first comment since the Saudis admitted the journalist had been killed at the consulate. Speaking at the investors' conference in Riyadh that has been overshadowed by the crisis, Mohammed bin Salman said that those responsible for the killing would be brought to justice. Bin Salman further said that the crime was painful to all Saudis, but he would never allow any rift with Turkey. After Saudi Arabia admitted over the weekend that Khashoggi was killed on 2nd of October in its Istanbul consulate, 5 high-ranking officials were dismissed, including bin Salman's media chief and the deputy head of the Saudi intelligence service. 18 people were also arrested. Riyadh has maintained that neither bin Salman nor his father King Salman knew of the operation to target Khashoggi. Khashoggi died during a 2nd of October visit to the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The Saudi government has blamed the murder on rogue agents.
الحادث اللي حدث مؤلم جدا لجميع السعوديين، خاصة لأنه لمواطن سعودي، وأعتقد أنه مؤلم لأي إنسان موجود في العالم. هو حادث بشع غير مبرر تماما. اليوم المملكة العربية السعودية تقوم باتخاذ كل الإجراءات القانونية للتحقيق واكتمال التحقيقات بالعمل مع الحكومة التركية للوصول إلى نتائج وتقديم المذنبين للمحاكمة وأخذ العقاب الرادع.
Excellent news from the sport front, because Virat Kohli became the fastest cricketer to score 10,000 runs in one-day internationals. But West Indies stole a tie from India in the second ODI. Chasing a target of 322 runs, West Indies lost 2 early wickets for just 64 runs. But a brilliant unbeaten knock of 123 runs from Shai Hope helped West Indies tie the match. Now, needing 14 runs in the final over and 5 off the last ball, Shai cut Umesh Yadav for a boundary to level the score. And earlier, batting first, the men in blue posted a huge total of 320 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in their allotted 50 overs. India lost 2 early wickets in the form of vice-captain Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan. But then skipper Virat Kohli's unbeaten knock of 157 runs helped the men in blue to post 321 on board. And in the process, Kohli also became the fastest batsman to reach 10,000 runs in one-day internationals, surpassing Sachin Tendulkar's record. Tendulkar took 259 innings to get there, while Kohli has so far batted in just 205 innings. Kohli also became the fastest to get 1,000 runs in a calendar year, taking just 11 innings. An India men's hockey team defeated South Korea in the 5th and final round-robin match of the Asian Champions Trophy in Muscat. Yesterday, the men in blue beat South Korea 4-1. Harmanpreet Singh scored a hat-trick to help the Indian side seal the victory. He converted 3 of the 4 penalty corners to reach the feed, while Gurjant Singh scored 1 goal for India. And for South Korea, Lee Seung-gil scored the lone goal. But India had already booked their spot in the semi-finals, but it was a do-or-die game for the Koreans. India lead the table with 4 wins and 1 draw, and they are unbeaten in the tournament so far. And in badminton, Indian shuttlers Saina Nehwal, Kidambi Srikanth and B. Sai Praneeth have advanced to the second round of the French Open Badminton in Paris. In the women's singles, Saina Nehwal defeated Japan's Saena Kawakami 21-11, 21-11 to make it to the pre-quarterfinals. She will next face 2017 world champion Nozomi Okuhara of Japan today. While in another women's singles, third-seeded PV Sindhu will face Sayaka Sato of Japan today. And in the men's singles, the defending champion Srikanth beat Hong Kong's Wong Wing Ki in set 21-19, 21-13 in the opening round. He will next face Lee Dong-kyun of South Korea today. While in another men's singles, K. Sai Praneeth defeated Brazilian Igor Coelho 21-13, 21-17 to set up a clash against Jonathan Christie of Indonesia. And in the men's doubles, Indian duo of Manu Athri and B. Sumeeth Reddy defeat a Korean duo of Min Hyu Kang and Kim Wong Ho 21-18, 21-17. The duo will face their Chinese rivals today. And in the world of tennis, India's Rohan Bopanna paired with Spain's Marcel Granollers, and they lost to their Croatian British rivals in the doubles quarterfinals of the ATP tennis tournament. Bopanna and Granollers lost their quarterfinal match 6-2, 6-8, 3-10 to Croatian British pair of Franco Skugor and Dominic Inglot to crash out of the competition. And Indian wrestler Ritu Malik lost her bronze medal bout at the Wrestling Championship in Budapest. Ritu lost her bronze medal bout to her Japanese rival Ayama Gempi 3-7 in the 65 kg freestyle category. And in the 62 kg category, Sakshi Malik was defeated by Japan's Yukako Kawai 2-16. And in the 50 kg category, Ritu Phogat, who replaced her injured cousin Vinesh Phogat, lost the quarterfinals by falling to her Japanese rival. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.